Hi,
Hi,
Smriti.
Priyanka.
I think it's a very good day that, we decided to get together for this conversation. So tell us about VR1. I mean, how did you curate for it? And, it's huge. How many festivals are part of it?
So there are 21 festivals which are a part of it, including us. And
Wow.
we are the only film festival from India to be invited for it. Tribeca Film Festival actually thought about this because, they had to cancel the festival, I think, a week or 2 weeks, or probably like a very short period of time before they actually hit D-Day.
Right.
So I think it was the 12th of March or something, or 12th of, and then they started. They must have thought about what to do, because the thing is that when a festival gets cancelled, I mean, apart from what's happening with the world, which is devastating, um,
Right.
filmmakers, all the stakeholders get affected, and I think for them. Um, Jane Rosenthal and Robert De Niro are the co-founders of the Tribeca Film Festival, and the festival was founded right after, the great tragedy in New York, and
Yes.
9 happened, and the foundation of the festival was to somehow, bring to the city a sort of symbol of hope and solidarity, and of stories and narratives and creators, because in times of strife, people turn towards artists.
Hmm.
We are constantly either reading, or we are watching something, or we are
Right.
listening to people talk. So their foundation was that, and I think that is what must have motivated them to kind of figure as to what is it that we
Hmm.
should do right now that brings the world together. Uh,
Right.
and they came up with this. I mean, I said it yesterday, but like it was a no-brainer for us. Like I had only had to ask like 3 questions, and I was like, we have to do this. This is amazing. So we
Right.
jumped on this opportunity also because of the fact that I think, Priyanka, everyone is going through this.
Hmm.
And we even want to talk about what the migrant laborers are going through, and um, because nothing can take away from the gravity of the kind of tragedy and the kind of loss that is happening outside of our homes. We are very privileged.
Right.
But what happens is that all of us are grappling with our own realities. And I think any hope and any kind of purpose that you get within that becomes something that you feel that you can carry on with. So it gave us a tremendous opportunity to first of all showcase the amazing creators that we have. And the 4 films that have been chosen are films by second-time directors, and they tell very relevant, urgent stories about the different realities of India. I mean, of course, we could have programmed many more films, but because there were 21 film festivals, they had only a limited period of time that they gave us.
Hmm.
And the films are Ibaleu, Nasir. Nasir is this fantastic film about the devastating effects of communal violence, which has been done in such a meditative, personal way. Um, it's a film by Arun Karthik. Then there's a beautiful short film by Atul Mongia called Awake,
Right.
and Shan Vyas's Natkhat, which stars Vidya Balan, who's also the producer on the film with Ronnie Screwvala. So these are and it's having its world premiere at VR1, which began today. So I hope everybody logs in. I've spoken for very long about this and completely stuck the festival because it's free of cost, and you get to see 100+ films, including many, many conversations.
Right. And you can also donate, even though the festival is free,
Yeah, the
but you
festival,
can donate.
you can
You can
donate
donate.
for COVID relief. Yes.
So I would really encourage people that though it is free, but definitely I think we should, not just watch these beautiful films, but also donate towards the relief work, because I think no matter what amount of work that is being done, it is still falling short.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and I have personally seen one of the films, Ibaleu, and I can totally vouch for how beautiful that film is and how wonderfully it is done. Which brings me to the question that, when ever since you have been a part of Mami, we have seen this thing that it's so inspiring to see how Mami has shaped up. So tell us, how do you end up curating the film? I'm sure there's a team, but still, like, how do you decide which films to showcase?
I think I can give a sense of the overall creative sort of I would say a overall creative vision for the festival. How each particular film is chosen. There are many criteria for it. But I think one thing when we took over Mami, I think
Hmm.
one thing we were clear about is that we've got 22 official languages, 21 or 22 official languages. And languages otherwise in our country change after every 100 kilometers,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, is there different film cultures that exist. There are so many talented people across industries. So
Hmm.
we definitely wanted to bring the best of international cinema to the country. But I think
Hmm.
for us, it became a mission that the world needs to know the incredible talent that is in India
Right.
all across.
Hmm.
And that is not just the directors, not just the producers, but also, the actors that exist in different ecosystems, the editors, the cinematographers, the various sort of wheels that exist, the various aspects of cinema, that
Hmm.
talent be highlighted outside. So I think it became a mission for us to strengthen our Indian programming. That
Right.
how do we do an outreach? How do we find these people? We even started taking out a list, which which is something that we work on constantly, which is the list of people who are kind of breaking out into the system, or
Hmm.
finding out and getting spokespeople across industries, so that we get creators to find other creators. Till
Right.
you that people, till you kind of pull people up with you when you become successful, this is not going to go forward. Whether
Right.
you're a man or a woman, the fact of the matter is that at the end of the day, at the beginning of your career, everybody needs champions, everybody needs people who pull them up. And of course you need talent, but the other thing that I find very surprising is that and I'm veering from your original question a little bit, which
Hmm.
that and we might not have been able to do that as yet, but that's definitely on our agenda. That till you get the opportunity, how do you hone talent?
Right.
So even discovering people who are talented and putting them in touch with people who can create those opportunities for them. I mean, I have become the professional that I am because I have 23 years of mistakes behind me. If I did not get opportunity to do this, I would never be able to, become better at what I do. So therefore,
Hmm.
it's a very long, deep agenda, and the only thing that we've been able to do in the past 5 years is that we've been able to at least discover, and with the help of a very incredible team that works at Mami,
Right.
have the same mission like Kalpana Nair, and many other people who've really, kind of seen the vision for what it is and are working very hard towards, getting those kind of films and those kind of creators on board. So to answer your question, I think with Mami, we just became more. We kept on thinking that we are doing this. Like our attitude is, and our audience is so amazing that we are doing it for people who walk it. We have to treat them as clients. You cannot sit on a pedestal and say, "Oh my God, I do a film festival. What a great thing I do!" And you should all be grateful and thankful. Instead of that, the lens became that we are film lovers and we organize the festival. You're film lovers and you come to the festival. So we are on an equal plane. We just do this job and you're the people who come and watch. That really, the change in lens really actually made a difference in which we programmed Mami, we organized Mami. Because the thing is that whenever you go to a festival or any event, the
Right.
first thing that you don't want to face is that long, you know, a disorganized place that you go into. None of us have the time to do that. So I think the shifting of lens really change things around for Mami. And we've got incredible support and people like you and all the creators. I mean, the amount of championing and the amount of cheering that happens, it keeps us going. That's our lifeblood.
It's one thing to say, festival, but with Mami, it literally takes that meaning of a festival because everybody is, looking forward to it every year. And the way, the entire life get for many people, their lives are scheduled around Mami for those particular days, and but I also, you touched upon a very interesting thing about, giving opportunities and, other than identifying talent. I mean, first thing is to identify the talent and then to give opportunities and how that onus lies on everyone. So in your 23 years of experience, what kind of change have you noticed with these dynamics, of identifying talents and also, I have to ask, like, from a woman's perspective, like, what are the changes? What are the changes that you have noticed?
See, I'll say one thing, Priyanka, that you know, the in 23 years, speaking about just myself, I think many things and the way I look at opportunities for women, the way I look at, how women are treated, the way I look at the whole gender, equation has drastically changed over the years. I keep saying that nobody's born woke, right? We are all a product of our circumstances, and as we go along life, we keep on gathering more information. We go through a lot of experiences that shape who we are. What my perception was of the way things were at that point of time and the way things are today is completely different. And I do feel that after the Me Too movement and after a lot of incredible women who've consistently fought for, equality as far as genders are concerned, today a lot of things that I'm enjoying because they worked really hard. They carried the burden of being, oh my God, these women, they're just constantly, hey Bhagwan, औरतों के बारे में सोचो. That kind of a thing. And I know that existed. I know that narrative was really pushed around, and feminism assumed a completely different connotation. In fact, the negative connotations that were given to the word it shocks me today that even I at one point of time was kind of thinking as to, without reading up, without kind of talking to people. So first of all, I want to salute those women who kept on fighting. And
Right.
despite the kind of narrative that might have been built around them, and they're still fighting today, and newer women have come in, and I feel that I would say things have changed because we've started fighting harder because somebody cleared the path for us a little bit. But I think that what we need to do is that we should not get discouraged by the way that we are gaslit. I think everybody mistakes this, this fight or this endeavor as something which is against men. That is not true at all. This is just color that is being given to it to kind of undermine the movement. That all the people who are feminists and people who are fighting for women's right and equality are against men. I mean, that is absurd. I think it's just this narrative is being pushed to hobble the movement. The fact of the matter is, all we are asking for is an even playing ground. And the thing that what people don't realize is that it's when you get somebody in, when you pull somebody into the grid, you have to also keep that person in the grid. That person can fall off the grid if you kind of do not create a ecosystem in which they can thrive. So we do need to do a lot of work. In fact, I feel that the work that we can do, which was work that was done by one of your directors, Vijeta, when she said that, when I'm going to make my film, I'm going to go find talented women and make sure that all my department are women.
For which she received and still receives a lot of flack. It's about, like, why, and I find it very commendable that how she still stuck to that, because it's not easy. It's not easy to explain because of the way things have been, and probably, it still needs a lot of work. I mean, of course, things have changed a lot, but I think to reach that even plane, there's still a lot of doing left.
Absolutely. And the thing is, we can do that, and we shouldn't get deterred by this, because it is nothing against men. It's just that I've heard of people, leaving their jobs, people not being able to carry on with their jobs because husbands are not helping with housework. Then somebody else is not doing something, so somebody has to give up their career, because career is an additional thing which is added to the 80 responsibilities that you have to, definitely nibhao at home. Now the thing is, what do you do to kind of make that kind of space? Like, there are many learnings. Like, for example, when a woman gets pregnant at work, to look at that as a natural thing that has happened, or the clock that starts ticking in your head is ki, oh God, ab maternity leave pe ye chali jayegi, now she'll have morning sickness, ab ye hoga. So it's about, looking at that as, you cannot look at a woman's career and what she wants to do and her work as an impediment to what her primary job is. I don't know who has made this entire gender's primary job. And I say this only because of the fact that I feel that when people have a purpose and something to do, uh, they become better mothers, better fathers, better people, happier human beings. So, if a husband-wife equation, or when you are working somewhere, collaboration is the key, and the inequality breeds, a inherent sense of uncollaborative behavior. So I feel that despite all of the stones that are thrown, where they call you feminazi and they call you all sorts of things, I think we should grow a thick skin. We should not think about it. We should become a little unpopular at parties where people scoff at you and say all sorts of things, but we should keep fighting this good fight because somebody fought for us once.
Yeah, it's because of those voices that we have even been able to reach where we are. I mean, I see Tanuja Chandra here. When you are in this kind of company, let's say, for example, when Vijeta had introduced me to you, and I got introduced to other female creators, and then that ends up opening up your mind to that there is a support system, and definitely it does give you some bit of a confidence, because somewhere or the other, it's not very easy to always rise up. Like you said, that even if somebody does come in the grid, you have to kind of be there to support them. And when you see the creators, you know that there are creators, but you don't see them in the forefront.
Yes.
And then you have to ask the question, is it because that they're not there, or is it because they're not able to come up for whatever reason? I don't know what are the reasons, actually.
But Priyanka, just to get back to what you were saying, I also want to, like, a lot of times when I've been on panels and I've had conversations with people turn around and tell me, what do we do if there are not so many creators? And I was like, on what basis are we saying this? Number one, because first of all, we don't have an entire list or database of creators that are there, right? Number one. Number two, the thing is that there are sociological reasons for women not being able to do this. It is not as if everybody is sitting at home and they've made this choice and they're sitting at home. There is so much grassroots level work that needs to be done. Like, people might have interest, but they don't choose this because they feel it's going to interfere with my, again, like I was saying, my primary job in life, right? Or there are circumstances where women are told not to get into a job, or they have to stay at home. So the thing is, we don't know why there are not so many female creators where we don't even know whether we have a full database of these creators, right? So I have a feeling that there is a lot of work that needs to be done that is also outside of the purview of just the industry. But I'm
Hmm.
glad that there are organizations like IWCC and WCC. I have a feeling that we need to form more organizations like this. We need to take them national. We all need to bandy together. We need to come together. We need to let go of our egos. We need to let go of our differences. We need to stop pulling each other down. And we need to really go into this with a plan for the next 100 years, saying that, you know what, maybe in our lifetime we are not going to see that real change that is going to come, but after that the path is going to be clearer. Till we don't have that sort of selfless lens and ability to kind of do this and get over and fight this together like a collective voice is
Hmm.
far better than people working in individual silos, because that is not
Right.
going to, यार दो लड़के
Right.
मिलते बॉयज क्लब बन जाता है यार, तो 10 लड़कियां
Right.
नहीं कर सकते क्या हम लोग?
Right. And also I think often it's kind of misjudged as some kind of a separatist movement or making it working in seclusion, but that's not the idea. When you are speaking up, that it's not that you are creating any kind of or you want to create any kind of disharmony. The idea about behind speaking up is to make the voice visible. Like for me, I'm not a person who was aware of various kind of differentiation that happens very organically. It just passes, as a very normal thing. And I have also, let it pass often, because it never occurred to me that there is anything wrong in it. But like, for example, something as basic as, like long back, the first time, honestly, when I actually realized something is missing was when I read Sheryl Sandberg's Leaning, and when she spoke about sit at the table.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, I don't sit at the table. I actually quietly sit on the side, let the others take the center stage and let me sit quietly behind, as the docile, simple, meek person that I am or was raised to be. So yeah, anyway, so that's the idea. It's about speaking up. But I also wanted to ask you that, having curated for festivals, having come across so many filmmakers, and when you observe other filmmakers who have managed to make a film, take it to festivals, and the only example that comes to my head in the recent time is Reema Das. So do you have any advice for women to kind of take that kind of ownership and reach there? How can they reach there? I mean, what are the things that you would like to suggest?
See, I don't have a real pathway to suggest. I also feel that it's very important, and this is true for both men and women, like clarity and also clarity of what you want to do, and never hesitating in speaking up, though it has a, I know that people say speaking up has a cost attached to it. Of course it does. जब भी आप किसी को कोई ऐसी बात बोलोगे, anything that is not popular, anything that is not suitable to another person's interest, that person is going to oppose you, that person is going to become the hindrance, right? Now the thing is, with Reema Das, what happened was Reema Das came here to become an actor. In 4 years, she got very disappointed. I don't even know the kind of experiences she must have gone through. She went back to Assam. She made a film and she came back.
Right.
She made a film there. She shot it herself. She wrote it herself. She cast it herself. She did everything. She shot sequences with no lights and this, that, and the other. Now the thing is, everybody's journey doesn't have to be the same. I'm talking about Reema Das, that has become an icon now because she does truly represent somebody incredible who turned her life around. and
Hmm.
has become inspiration for so many other creators, right?
Right.
But I'm also talking about people like you. I'm talking about people like Vijeta. I'm talking about people who are within the system and are consistently wanting to have that seat at the table because you deserve that seat at the table. So I'm saying
Hmm.
कि don't take that, अपना
Right.
table, you know, and find like-minded people, create a tribe, and keep talking to people, keep connecting with people, keep working hard. I know all of this sounds like a self-help book, but there is nothing like going and reaching out and talking to as many people as you can with a clear plan in your head. Like sometimes
Hmm.
when people reach out to me, what bothers me, I speak to everyone. I
Right.
speak to everybody. But I am saying that what tends to happen is that even at an emotional level, I'm happy to speak with anyone. But the thing is that when people talk about projects or when people talk about something, they need to have clarity. Because boss, if you don't have clarity, if you don't know that, this is what I want to do, nobody else can help you.
Hmm.
You can only help somebody who has the vision or who has a very clear idea of how they need to be helped. That listen,
Right.
I am facing a problem with this, or I am facing a problem with this. How do I, and my thing to everyone who wants to do something and has the drive to do it is that don't give up and keep trying to find like-minded people who can become your co-conspirators and will make that happen because there are enough people out there who will do it.
Right. I mean, that is
Like,
true.
giving up is not an option either in life or in this thing. Don't quit. Be self aware. If something is not working out, work on it. Figure it out. Do this. But quit mat karo. Hatash mat ho jao. Because the thing is that if you apply that option, that option will apply to everything that you do in life.
Hmm.
Because nothing is easy. Nothing is going to come to anyone easy. And just because we are women, that doesn't mean that we are talking about entitlement.
Hmm. Hmm.
That even at all. All I'm saying is I want an equal chance than the person, a man who is fighting for the same thing that I'm fighting for. If you are willing
Right.
to give an equal chance, I am there. So, to any woman, like Reema turned her fortunes around herself.
Right.
She and she said, you know what? If I ain't becoming an actor, मैं जाके डायरेक्टर बन के दिखाती, मैं खुद कर लूँ. अब लोग भाग रहे हैं उसके पीछे, because they want to work with her. They see she's done 2 films and the kind of place that she has given us in the global film festival market is just amazing.
Right.
So I'm just saying that giving up is not an option, and I feel that all of us, what we can do is that when people reach out to us, we'll have to make that time. और कुछ नहीं कर सकते, और टाइम किसी के पास नहीं है, but if you don't make that time to answer that call, to reach out to somebody, to at least have that 10 minute का conversation, then we'll never be able to help anyone.
Right. Smriti, you've given like so much hope, I'm sure, to a lot of people here that you are going to be flooded by those requests of talking. So
Listen,
yeah, I mean, be prepared.
you women run. My God, I am so proud of you guys, and more power to you. And any way that we can help. I mean, you guys are there. You're making amazing films and doing amazing things. But if
Right.
there is any way that we can help and kind of strengthen it, make it stronger, we'd love to do this with you.
I mean, IWCC has also played a very strong role in my life in making me more vocal and aware of a lot of things that I probably wasn't aware of in terms of what's happening, in terms of opportunities and everything. Because there are so many commendable women, in the group. I mean, our founders are very senior members like Fauzia and Dipti. Dipti's film was there in Mami
Yeah,
last year.
by the way, is also a member of the WCC.
Right. Yeah. More power to all these strong women, and it's also a support group. It's not like, for example, this conversation that we are having today. As much as it may not fall in line with our technical talks that we have been doing, but I think this conversation is very, very important because it deals with that that stage that we are all vying for at the end of the day, whatever we make. So, yeah, I mean, this collective, I think is, and like you said, there should be more and more of it, and not just, I mean, it's not about seclusion at all, that these collectives or groups.
No.
It's about being a supportive group, for each other, to voice out things that, sometimes we might just keep in our head and don't talk about it because we don't know if what we are thinking is actually the right thing. So yeah, I mean, and Reema, like you said, has been an inspiration for a lot of people, because it's also about, one is getting up opportunities and the other is creating. And I think in that, Reema has, played quite an inspirational role.
Absolutely.
So now you are also constantly working on inspiring people through creative talks and everything. And there's Dial M for movies. How did you start that? How did that
So
take shape?
basically, what happened, Priyanka, was that I think when you work in the industry, what tends to happen is that you have so much access, right? That you sometimes take access for granted, right? You feel ki, "Arey, isko to phone kar lenge," and all of that. But what you don't realize is that access is not. It's not easy for people who want to enter the industry. Actually, they have no access at all. And then knowledge also is something which is very, very difficult. Unless until you're at a film school and you've done a course like that, there are certain basics that people really want to kind of hear people talking about. And I think what tends to happen is, like, for example, if you were to do a session on cinematography, any aspect of cinematography, or Neha, or Fawzia, or Priya, anyone who decide to pick up, like, we can have even 5 sessions, right? And when you pick up a particular subject, what you're going to do is that not only are you going to talk about it theoretically, you will also tell us how to apply that practically. Because you know both the aspects, and that practical experience and that practical knowledge is priceless. So when we were going to do this as an on-ground thing, as part of our industry program and also a year-round program. But when we were hit by the pandemic, we felt that why stop this? And in one of the ways this became even better, I mean, though the on-ground experience is priceless, but it became better was that it was not restricted. It is not restricted anymore to just people in Bombay. People outside of Bombay, people in different cities in India can now get access to the session. They can even be part of it. And the idea is to have knowledge modules by people who work in the industry to explain one specific aspect to you, so that it's not a meandering discussion. So you put the creator at the centerpiece of this module. So if you've noticed the sessions that have been created and the sessions that have been like thought of, they are all sessions that deal with one thing, and through examples and through clips and also weaving in the personal experience of doing this. I have a feeling. I mean, we are starting this on the 31st. I don't know. I don't know
2
how
days
this
from
is
now.
numbers, but I feel that they'll be very useful to people who want to understand film, understand creators and how they work, and for aspiring film professionals, this might be, and we'll keep on improving as we go along. I think that is also one of the reasons why Mami has thrived as much as it is, because we are a very nimble team. Everybody who works in Mami, we don't kind of, we don't hold our babies so close. If there are changes that need to be made, if something is not working, we are very quick to act on it, as opposed to sit there and hold on to things that have been created and not let go. So even with Dial M for films, I think it's something that we are beginning. We are very confident, but we will learn from our practical experiences as to how to make this better.
Right. I think it definitely helps that, every session is dealing with something specific So whenever whoever is joining a particular session would have clear idea of what they are, going to learn, and what do they want to take away from a particular session. And I think
Got it.
that's really helpful. And even in today's time, it's not just for any aspiring filmmakers, but for any filmmaker. I think it helps to keep on listening to other filmmakers also, to understand from their process if there is something that can be improved.
Absolutely.
We have a question here from Shayani, which is, what are the practical challenges in running a successful festival and keep bettering it each year? And I have to add to that, I had an offline question from Majid Vasi, who said that, ask Smriti that how does she keep the energy up?
Actually, the thing is, I think one of the biggest practical challenges is money. So funds are always a problem, despite the fact that we have very generous sponsors. The thing is that Mami per se cannot we can't sell tickets. So there cannot be a revenue stream for Mami because we've got censorship. So our movies are uncensored. We show them completely uncensored, and because of that, they cannot be ticketed. So you cannot have a revenue stream, right? That Mami can start to earn for themselves, and therefore that business model doesn't work for us. We are always going to, till there is censorship in this country, we are always going to run on a sponsorship model. So to answer Shayoni's question, there are lots of other challenges, of course, but I think funding for us is the biggest challenge always, because we are growing, and when you are growing, you need funds to make it better and better and better. In fact, like I keep joking with people that our entire festival budget must be the printing budget of TIFF. And but it's just that when you want to make it like the kind of things that we want to do, because we are also an academy that runs a festival. So Dial M Films is actually the academy doing this. The year-round program is the academy doing this. Eventually, we want to become, the institute where people come, and it is a film. It's a repository of film, and like you, we are affiliated. We want to be affiliated to all the collectives that come up. We want to be that place where a person walks in from anywhere in the country and says that I want to make a film. Can someone help me? It's like a bank for. It's like when you walk in and you go to a teller and say that I want to open a bank account, and you hand it over to this thing and somebody takes you through it. We want to be that no call goes unanswered, and you speak to people and you tell them this is what you can do, this is where you can apply for festivals, create modules for people. So I'm saying that what I was trying to say was that for all of this you need funds. It's like we are a non-profit trust, and we want that somebody sitting in Assam, somebody sitting in a remote corner of the country thinks about Mami as the place where they can go and they will be guided.
Right.
That even if we can't get them the funds, at least we can direct them to the right places. Because I think the other thing that is very, very debilitating for people who want to join the industry is lack of information, lack of going to the right kind of people. You get fleeced, you get defrauded, you get treated badly. We do want to be that place that does this completely objectively and without any agendas, and says that, okay, fine, if you come here, this is your safe space. And we have a roster of people that you can get in touch with, and we have this booklet for you because you want to go to film festivals. This will tell you every film festival that you can apply to. This will tell you every possible fund that you can go for. These are very large plans, but they're plans of just organizing everything and making sure that people are benefited. But for this, funds are required, for this, resources are required, and that does prove to be a very big challenge. And the energy, Priyanka, comes from loving your job. Yourself happy, and trying to see the good that is there in the world, because there's enough pain in the world, and one acknowledges that pain. It also makes me very I also rage a hell of a lot. It's not that I'm not raging from inside, and I don't find rage a negative emotion. I feel
Right.
rage means that you want to change things, but I also feel that you can go out there, and even with all of that rage and self-awareness and everything and all of the emotion that you feel, it should burn your insides enough for you to go and act, and for you to do something about it, and for you to, instead of burning and then just like becoming bitter and kind of crashing. So I think it's a choice,
Right.
and I have a feeling that it might be, and not to sound like a person, every person's circumstances are very different. Maybe my family and friends and everybody makes me feel very secure, and I come from a very happy, I've had a very happy childhood, and my parents are extremely supportive. So maybe the challenges I might have faced in life might have been, and I come from a very liberal background. So maybe I don't have those challenges, and they might have affected me. So
Hmm.
I also don't want to say this and cause anxiety to people who might genuinely have issues because of the fact that they have gone through circumstances that are very, very challenging and debilitating. So
Right.
they should not feel when they hear somebody like me talking, saying कि यार हमें भी ऐसा होना चाहिए था, ये positive है, इसमें energy है. I also want to say that maybe it's also because of the fact that I've not seen the tough sides of life which people are born into.
Right.
So, but I also want to tell everyone that please, whatever it is, just keep going, just keep
Yeah.
doing this.
What you said about not giving up, I think it's also a lot. It takes a lot of strength to not give up, but at the same time, I mean, I know of personally many contemporaries of mine who have, at some point or the other, let's say, have thought of giving up cinematography. And I might have also had those thoughts at some point. But the
I'm
thing is that
so happy you haven't.
yeah, because the thing is that it's not just with this, but in general with a lot of things that, I mean, there's no end to giving up. But I also wanted to understand from you that you in terms of films, there's a huge segregation in, let's say, commercial films and festival films, like, so to say. So, do you see that gap kind of reducing anytime in the future, with maybe OTTs also, becoming a huge part of our life?
Priyanka, I have to say, and the reason I say this is that I think independent film is called independent because it's independent of a studio, like a big studio, maybe, sort of backing you. And a smaller film is a smaller film because of the budget and all of that. But the thing is that, like, for example, E Baleu, to me, is a commercial film.
Hmm.
I'm anything that engages me is worth my, like, what is a commercial film? The commercial film is कि अगर मैंने 300 रुपए किसी फिल्म पे खर्चे हैं, तो मुझे लग रहा है कि मुझे मिल गया, I've got my money's worth. So according to me, that is a commercial film because I've got my money's worth. So the thing is, the segregation of a festival film and a commercial film is also something of a segregation that is being made within the industry, right? The person who's outside, the audience that is outside, that is watching it, is consuming the film and deciding on whether that person is engaged or entertained or not.
Hmm.
That I don't want to think about कि यार ये independent film है कि नहीं. These are terminologies, like people started thinking about the box office of films only because of the fact that box office of films had started to become the strategy that films had started employing in their publicity plan. कि 100 crore film, 200, उससे पहले तो कोई बात ही नहीं करता था उसके बारे में. And the
Hmm.
thing is that for uh, for the problem is that we've not worked on, because like people keep on saying that it's got to do with the amount of money it takes to do publicity and all. I have a feeling we need to figure out ways in which independent films, which are good films, can be promoted, can be marketed, and what kind of network can be built for them. Because see,
Hmm.
traditionally 20 crores nobody has to spend on a film जिसका बजट 2 करोड़ का है, राइट?
Hmm.
तो हम तो सोच ही नहीं रहे ना कि उसको कैसे प्रमोट करना है. हाउ डू वी पुश दैट, हाउ डू वी प्रमोट दैट? सो वी नीड टू फाइंड दैट rasta. The audience is there, we just haven't found it.
Right.
Like there are films, like my parents started watching a lot of films that that would show at Mami because of me. And it's not as if they've loved everything, but there are
Hmm.
certain, so it's not as if they're saying this to please me. They've turned around and they've also told me ये तो बहुत boring थी, ये तो हम देख ही नहीं पाए. But then there
Hmm.
are 4 out of that my parents have loved, and they would have never seen this film.
Hmm.
So my mother watched Okaja because I asked her to watch Okaja. She would normally not watch Okaja on Netflix because she wouldn't know what to expect out of that film or watch Bong Joon-ho. But I just normally recommended it to her, and then she called me 6 hours later weeping on the phone because she was so moved by that film, and she doesn't know a single person in that film. She
Right.
doesn't know who Tilda Swinton is. She has no idea who these people are, what this creature looks like, who's Bong Joon-ho. But the thing is that we are not able to reach the audience. It's not as if the audience doesn't exist.
I
And
think
then
in
also when films go somewhere, even when like the releases of these films happen, even sometimes the reviewers don't know that these films are coming out. So
hmm.
if you're gonna release your film, then why release it, ना? आप तो उसको अच्छे shows भी नहीं दे रहे हो, कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो. So I have a feeling that those are the areas that we need to tweak.
Right.
And we need to sit together and figure out कि ये करना कैसे.
Exactly. I think Mami is taking a lot of, you know, Mami, the efforts that are being made, even with the year-round program and everything. I think it is a step. I see it at least as a step. Like I've spoken to you personally also, that the kind of films that are now, when you get to see them in the screenings or even at the festival, then suddenly you think that, okay, there is an audience for this film, for these films as well. Otherwise, most of the times you end up getting caught between, even if, let's say, somebody has an idea, uh, oftentimes you get discouraged just by thinking that, is there anyone who's going to watch it? I mean, should I even go ahead and make it? I mean,
See,
these are the.
I'll give a very recent example. And hi, Rima. That's the
I'm so
actor.
happy to see her, Rima here.
Also a founder member of WCC, somebody I have deep respect for. I'll tell you another thing. I'll just give you an example of Auntie Radha, Auntie Sudha.
Right.
When Tanuja and Anupma Mandloi decided to make the film, like imagine, first of all, women के बारे में तो film बनती नहीं है. They decided to make a film on one woman who's 92 and one woman who's 87. Like this is the age group about how they live their life, and um, Tanuja thought that it would be a beautiful story of harmony because of the help that they have in the house, and who they are and how they, like she threaded the story together on the premise of harmony. That what a but when she was thinking about this film, and when Anu came on board as a producer, this film is not a commercial prospect at all, even on paper.
Right.
Even on paper, like who will buy this film? Who will commercially distribute it? It literally does not have those prospects at all.
Hmm.
बुढ़ापा
Right.
तो हम लोग नहीं चाहते, हमारे हीरो
Yeah.
भी बूढ़े नहीं. So I'm just saying that, but when we showed it at Mami, we screened it at Mami, and then we put it on Mami home theater. the kind of response that we have got, the amount of people that saw the film and found resonance in it,
Right.
that means somewhere our strategies are not right, na?
Right.
अगर और अनु ने सोचा होता कि कमर्शियल प्रॉस्पेक्ट्स के बारे में सोचा होता तो वो फिल्म कभी नहीं बनाते.
Correct.
They would have never been able to make the film. बट उन्होंने कहानी के बारे में सोचा. उन्होंने कहा कि हमें ये कहानी, ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग कहानी है और हमें ये बनानी है, एंड वी हैव टू डू दिस. एंड व्हेन यू वॉच द फिल्म यू विल understand that it's laced with humor. It's very interesting to watch. It's a beautiful window into a certain kind of life, and therefore I just feel that somewhere, instead of altering our stories, I mean sometimes alteration is needed, but instead of altering what we passionately, then we need to alter the ways in which we look at to get it outside. And I
Right.
think filmmakers and producers need to be very aware of what their strategy would be. They should think about it, because हमने अपने drawing room के लिए तो film नहीं बनाई है.
Yeah. Right.
Has to, it can't be treated as a lesser job. It is a very big job to get the film out to its audiences, and till the time that we look down upon it, you know, मैं marketing नहीं करती, I don't believe in all of this. No, you have to
Right.
believe in, because you have to find your audience, because you
Yes.
made a film to be seen by them. So therefore I just feel that don't alter what you're thinking of.
Smriti, so what is it that Mami has now thought of for this year? Can you reveal some of the things?
So just to give you an idea of what we are doing, we've gone digital with our year-round program. We are showing movies. Tanuja saying not much better. I actually don't even have my headphones right now, so I'm just going to keep talking, and hopefully it's going to catch. So what we've done is we've gone digital with our year-round program. We've also started, Dial M for films. So these are the initiatives which are the year-round program initiatives are, going on as planned. Like we've been able to pivot into, take an interesting pivot into the digital world, and kind of, made up for the lacuna of not having an on-ground presence. But, Priyanka, to tell you the truth, we can't do that with the festival. I don't
Right.
think that the festival can go digital, because it's such a bricks and mortar kind of experience, such a touch and feel and on ground presence is so required for a festival to happen, to create that sense of community, to create that sense of meeting one-on-one. I don't think that aspect of the festival can be substituted by going digital. What we can do is we can definitely, I think the learnings have been that digital arms are interesting to have for a festival. That
Right.
we might not discontinue with our digital arm, that we might strengthen it. That is the learning, but it is never going to substitute a on-ground festival. So we are supposed to be in November this year. So it would be very early to kind of say that we are not happening this year, because that's a call that we haven't taken as yet. We are hoping things are going to improve, and there would be some way in which we can go to the theaters. It looks bleak right now, but I'm hoping that we can make Mami happen in some way or the other. But if it's not a satisfactory way of making the festival happen, we will postpone it the next year.
Right. I think, we have to wait and watch for that. But at the same time, there's a question from Damini about what are your thoughts on other festivals which have gone digital? I think it has happened for this year.
So, the thing is that most of the festivals, I think the first festival to go digital, and they had to go digital, was South by Southwest, because they got cancelled, like they were 1 week away. In fact, Aarti Kadav's film was supposed to premiere at South by Southwest. I felt so bad about that, because she's again a very fine filmmaker. She is a debut filmmaker. She was going to go to South by Southwest, which is one of the most prestigious film festivals. in the world. And I think they went digital because they didn't have a choice, because there were so many filmmakers counting on them, so many filmmakers that had already committed to them. So they did a very fine job of going digital. They tied up with Amazon. They did a lot of they did a lot of promotion and a lot of pushing out of their filmmakers, so that the filmmakers don't suffer, right? But bigger festivals have all gotten cancelled. Like
Right.
Locarno is cancelled, Cannes got cancelled. Cannes market is happening digitally, but that's a very different sort of arm of Cannes. That can happen digitally. There is a form in which they can do this, but the actual festival is cancelled. Venice is the only festival that is said that it's going to happen this year on the dates that they plan to. Jerusalem has gotten shifted. They've shifted their dates. So countries are also taking decisions depending on where they are in terms of fighting the pandemic. And as you know, we are very behind, Priyanka.
Right.
Like we are a very voluminous country. I don't see the situation improving anytime soon. We are very hopeful, but I don't want hope to turn into delusion, and so whichever festivals could afford it, whichever festivals could do it, they are all opting, they're all shifting to next year so that they can do a proper festival and not a half. Somebody's written "Mommy bag, mask and gloves."
Yeah, that's Damini.
I have that is hilarious. That mommy, I never thought about this, but this is such an interesting way of thinking, that we should have a mask that has that mommy branding in the shield and the gloves. That is hilarious.
Yeah. And then you can do socializing with your mask on, so that you can impersonate probably somebody else.
We'll never be able to recognize. We'll have to take photographs for the delegate badges with your mask on, because who's going to recognize another person? It's going to be Rashmi Manuja, who also works on the Mami team, has written "Mami sanitizer." Yes, Rashmi,
Right.
you only make this now.
Neha has a question which got skipped. Her question is that would you combine films from this year and next if it gets shifted to next year? That will be
No, so what we've done is we've let go of all sorts of bandhans, like all sorts of boundaries that you make na, ki ye wala premiere hona chahiye aur aise hona chahiye aur waise hona chahiye. We've let go of all of that. Our filmmakers are suffering enough. I don't think we need to make them suffer because of a lot of rules and regulations. Of course, there would be some rules and regulations, but I think we'll relax anything that we can to make sure that people don't suffer and they get the position they would have, the kind of visibility that they would have enjoyed. So if we do not happen this year for some reason, we are going to make sure that we are going to make sure that the films that have been submitted to us don't suffer.
Right. There's a suggestion.
So to answer your question competently and conclusively, is that we will not let anyone suffer because of technicalities.
But thank you so much, Smriti. You've given us a lot of your time, and
very happy to, Priyanka, anytime. Very, very happy to give any time that you need and want. And listen, it was a pleasure talking to you, and it was a pleasure seeing so many people tune in, and so many friends, colleagues, collaborators, other people just coming in. And it's also a nice break from just sitting and kind of talking to your own self, doing connecting with the world through this thing. So the pleasure is all mine, Priyanka. Thank you for thinking of me. And thank you, Fauzia, Punita, Kalpana, Tanuja, Stuti,
everyone
who joined in, Shayoni, all the friends, Rima, but everyone who joined in, it was great. Bye guys. Bye, Priyanka.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.